Hello, good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Queens on Fire. Yes, and we are definitely going to be on fire this morning. Welcome, everybody. Bit of housekeeping, and what I say each week, please have your pens, pads, notebooks ready, because these are sessions where you are going to be educated. Yeah, so pens, pads, notebooks at the ready. Please post any questions into the chat. Yeah, and we'll pick them up. I've got my fantastic co-host, Nadia, from the Black Health Group. Yeah, could I ask my co-host to please mute everybody because I can hear people in the background?
In Vancouver, Canada, yeah.
No, it's me, John.
Okay. There'll be a Q&A at the end. Please post all your questions, have your questions ready. And what we normally do at the end of the session, you put your hand up and then I will come to you. Just give your name, say who you are, and please have your camera on because we don't like talking to a black screen. Yes. So that's how we rock on a Queen's platform on a Saturday morning. So welcome everybody. Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the Queen's lockdown series. Yeah. Oh, I should also say welcome if there's any kings on the platform, but it's normally predominantly us beautiful, strong, resilient queens. We have a fantastic array of presenters this morning, so you're really going to get your belly full and you're going to get your head full as well. I'm going to quickly just give you the reason as to why we are Zooming. So most of you will know that we are predominantly a walking group, and when the government here in the UK said that it had to be one person who would meet with another person from a different household to walk or exercise, our fantastic group had to stop. And I had to learn how to Zoom quick. So we've been Zooming since around November, and we have had some fantastic sessions. Absolutely awesome. We've done Queen's Black Hair Rocks, and did we rock it? Yeah, talking about our beautiful hair, whether it's locks, whether it's braids, whether it's weaved, and all the, issues that happens, especially being in lockdown with our hair. We've done Queens, We Ain't Crazy, It's Only the Menopause, and that was another session that was fire. Absolutely magnificent. We've done Queens, Breaking the Silence, let's talk about mental health. We've done Queens, Stop Eating the Fridge. And as a repercussion of doing that particular Zoom, because we've done a part 1 and a part 2, we are now on a 30-day intermittent fasting challenge. Whoop, whoop. Yes, so no food, all those lovely things we like to indulge in, none of that, no. But yeah, it's all about, health and well-being. So that's what we're doing as a group of queens. We've done, we've done so many Zooms. We've got loads of fantastic Zooms coming up. We are going to be doing a session called Queens, It's a Pain. And Queens, It's a Pain. It's going to be for women who are suffering with fibroids, endometriosis, and polycystic ovaries. We're going to be doing a session around love, sex, relationships. We're going to be doing another Black business session. We had a session last week, which was, goodness, it was just so brilliant, so brilliant. All these fantastic Black micro businesses in our community showing all their wares and services, really, really good. And we'll be doing another 30-day intermittent fasting challenge, but this challenge will be for the kings. Yes, woo, woo. This will be for the kings. Because if I say to you, we are a group on the intermittent fasting challenge now of 60 ladies, 60 people. I'm not going to give it away. How many men do you think we've got in the group? How many men? One man. Where are the men? So we are going to be putting on a 30-day intermittent fasting challenge, which will begin in March, 1st of March, and it is for the kings. Yeah. I will also be going on the radio tomorrow. What's it called? AYEC. And I'm going to be doing sort of like lots of radio shows now. So I'm kicking off on Sunday, and it's going to be, we're going to start that discussion. Where are the men? Where are the men? Doing fasting challenge, one saw someone. You go in the dance, well, when we could go in the dance, sprinkling of men. I go on my fitness holidays, yeah, or my fitness weekenders. It's about 90% women. So I'm going to be throwing it out there, having a few discussions, and just, we're not in an argument. We're just going to have a conversation and talk about, where are our men in all these different things that we can do in life. Yeah. So we have some brilliant sessions plans, really fantastic sessions coming up. Can I quickly say, to hear about Future Queens Walking Group, please follow us on Eventbrite. This session is being recorded and will be released on our YouTube channel. So if you go onto YouTube and look for, I think it's Queens Lockdown 2020 series, because of course we're in lockdown and this is what we're doing. So have your pens and paper ready, your notebooks, and get ready for some life-changing information for you to take away and just make that change. Yeah. So are we ready for Queens on Fire? I hope so. We've got our first fantastic, brilliant speaker coming up. Shell Hansen, transformational coach and hypnotherapist, developing the inner you. And we all have this inner you. Yes. So are you here, my darling? Shell, where are you?
Yes, I am. Thank you so much.
Good morning. Good morning.
For having me today. Excellent.
You've got such a resume.
Oh, really?
A resume.
Thank you. So yes, today is raining in London, where I am. How is everybody? Can I share screen?
We're good. Yes, you can go ahead and share the screen.
Let's have a look.
So let go and start living your journey to a better life and business. We all have the power within us to create everything we want. It's every aspect of our life, business, and career. But sometimes we stumble.
We do indeed.
Yeah. We experience unexpected life events, lose confidence. What was once clear and in full view of possibility for ourselves becomes shrouded in fear, anxiety, and overwhelm.
Brilliant. So Shell Hansen from Developing the Inner You. I would say, first of all, that life now has changed because I've made that change. And developing the you, it really starts with any key challenges, any key issues that you have in your life. The ultimate decision relies on you. So it's about gaining strength from adversity. And my strength has been from divorce, homelessness, peer pressure, redundancy, bullying. I can name more as well. But really today's session really is about you and what can you take from these key challenges. So fast forward now, I've gone on a journey of self-discovery, and I've got a brand called Developing the Inner You. Everything is centered around well-being and helping those women who do need support in going through life traumas. So traumas might be divorce, infertility, might be self-confidence, depression. So as a certified hypnosis, what I do is first of all identify what those key challenges are. And in today's presentation, I just want to ask you to write down on a post-it note. And this is an interactive session. I really would like to hear from some people on what those key issues might be or challenges that you are facing in your life now. Yeah. Please just come forward in the chat function to maybe just, you know, shout out what those key challenges are. Anyone? Joan, have you got any key challenges? Anyone from anyone?
Oh, key challenges. Hold on.
Loraine, any key challenges? That's Loraine Martins. Okay, recovering from abusive relationship. Okay, interesting topic. Abuse comes in so many different forms. It could be physical, emotional, things are coming through now, lack of confidence. And what I would suggest, I mean, for my record, when you're in a toxic relationship, it can get your confidence. You don't know who you are. And 4 years ago, in a marriage that was quite failing, but I didn't identify who I was. And just waking up and actually just making the decision that if I want to live and live for myself and live my purpose for myself and my children, I've got 2 kids, 12 and 7 now, then I have to make a change. And that abuse came in emotional abuse. I don't really want to get into the nitty gritties of it, but has anyone heard of the term narcissist? Yeah, when people inflict things upon yourself and actually it's them. Well, part of the hypnotherapy training is that don't let these things enter into us. And I know it's really hard in saying that, but there's several techniques that I go through with women to ensure that, those inner critics don't hurt our direction and our purpose. So I made a conscious decision to make that change. And that was about standing my ground and really looking at, well, what's my purpose? My parents brought me into this world. I've got a purpose, and it was a long journey. There is someone on the platform called Elaine. Is that Elaine from the other group? Is that Elaine from education? Elaine, can you hear me? It might not be. But I had an interesting conversation with many peers and friends, and Elaine said to me once, I know that you've gone through, we'll just have an informal chat. She said, I know that you've gone through several challenges, but if you don't put on, because I was always good at connecting people and always good at coaching. But then there was something that was stopping me. And again, these were the blocks. And I teach people through Reiki healing about how to release these blocks. Loraine said to me, well, if you don't put on your event, Chanel, I'm not going to attend. I don't want to attend. You always, doing events for other people. This is time you really do something for yourself. And it is about doing something for yourself. So I then thought, oh yeah, I've actually registered a name called Developing the New. What is that? What does it mean? So then I started to devise my program, and the program is about self-healing. Taking time out for yourself. It is about making affirmations and believing in your purpose. And all those critics, be it family, friends, partners, it is about letting go of that. And it doesn't just happen overnight. It has taken many years in doing so, but I can show you how. So some of the other adversities are coming in. Someone said, yes, power and control. So knowing your power, and everyone on this platform has got power. All women have got power. Everybody has got power, but you have to find that in yourself. Let me just I don't know how to minimize this chat 1 minute. So the question is, well, how can I be more confident? So again, going through the exercise of emphasizing your strengths, giving yourself credit for everything that you've achieved is paramount. Whether you're a mum, juggling, bringing up the kids, some people think, well, actually, I haven't got any skills, I've lost my confidence. Bringing up kids, for one, is a job in itself. And quite often, I think women, when we're going through career transition, or if we were perhaps not employed, we don't have the confidence. So just looking at your transferable skills in how you manage everyday life. And asking yourself, well, how did I do it? You know, how did I do? Getting feedback from friends, not friends that are going to just tell you the nice things to make you feel good, but just, you know, asking the people that are close to you. So setting your own measurements and success also. So I would advise everyone to develop an action plan. We're in 2021 now, and I'll come to that at the end, but it's about, what do I want to achieve from life? What's my purpose? And it does come with an element of taking risk. So approaching new experiences, opportunities to learn, rather from situations where you will lose or win. And I would end on that around positive talk, controlling your thoughts, learning how to speak positive, and learning actually not to talk negative, and not, again, let anyone talk negative about you. So it is about developing new habits. So on my empowerment program, I show women on how to develop these new habits, and it is centered around love, and that's self-love and care. So writing affirmations in a positive form, as if it's, you know, in the present form. So I'm confident at, I claim and relax when, I'm happy, I'm achieved. So look at your future self and really write down now. And I would like some examples in the chat facility. But these affirmations and words do have power, and visualization does have power. Everything that I've achieved has been through visualization and manifestation. And in order to create that, we need to create an environment in our home, or take at least an hour out of our week to really look at our conscious mind. And hypnotherapy is about the conscious mind, and our mind actually knows what exactly we need to achieve. Questions just come through. Okay, don't know my direction in my career, that's come through. Okay, we could have a one-to-one chat. I'm happy to have one-to-ones with people, and happy to come back and really delve deep into some of the other topic areas. So writing affirmations. So can anyone give me a present form of an affirmation? Just an example. If you can put that in the chat, that'd be really great. My affirmation for my future self would be, as an example, I live in a 5-bedroom house. I'm happy with my boys, and I love myself, and I'm achieving my purpose through coaching and hypnotherapy. I've achieved my goals and my purpose. So writing things down in the present form. Let's have a look at the chat. Good. Okay, good. I like that one. I am loved. I have purpose. But there are ways which we can change that, i.e., I understand my purpose, and then you would extend the sentence a bit more. I am strong and I'm happy. And please do, you know, what does that look like? What does strong mean? So do extend that sentence more. These are good starters. I'm beautiful. I'm hope and fearless. Good. I'm resilient. I'm blessed and highly favored. I'm determined. Good. I'm responsible for my happiness. Good. I love these. These are really good. They're coming in. So it's about putting these in positive form. Trust me, when I was going through my divorce, I didn't know who I was, or just before that, I really didn't know. Being together in a relationship for like 12 years, you know, 2 kids, married, I didn't know who my purpose was. I wouldn't have worn makeup and hair and all this, you know, self-care. But I knew I had it in me, but I just didn't know how to find it. And people said, well, actually, you've gone through divorce, you look happy. Yes, because I know my purpose and I know my worth. And sometimes people can cloud ourselves, but I use all these positive affirmations whilst going through my transition. So self-talk is really important. So give 3 examples where you think and talk negatively about yourself. So this is a bit of reverse psychology. So think about the things that you do think negative about yourself. It may be you think that you're not clever enough. It may be you think that you're clumsy, or you're not good with figures, or you won't find a job. I want you to write down at least one of those negative self-images, because it does require you to kind of look at, well, what are my hurdles? What is it that I don't like about myself in order to push forward? So just write down one of your negative self-images and just think about, well, where did this come from? Was it in the house, in the family where you were growing up, where, your mum or dad or aunties would say, "Oh, you're not good enough. Why would you want to do that? You should go and do this. And I had it all," These are the statements that are often inflicted upon us. Now, list of 3 of your positive self-images. So I see myself as. So now I want you to write down 3 positive self-images. I see myself as, and this is what I did, going through, my childhood coming up. I was in a loving environment, but, I did have key challenges, and some people will say, how was you made homeless? But it was unfortunate at the time, but I've learned from that. So just to give you a snippet and overview, my mum's partner, which is my stepdad, was quite a controlling character, to say the least. And some of those narcissist traits were inflicted upon me. And despite being quite strong-minded and resilient, some of those key changes, he made me feel like I wasn't good enough or I couldn't achieve anything. And that had an impact on my GCSEs. I didn't have a good GCSE, but I knew that once I received those results, something in me just shook up, and I thought, well, I need to make a change. I then progressed on to university and so forth. And now I have 3 degrees. But it wasn't just magic overnight. I did have to go through this process. I did have to say to myself, well, I see myself as a teacher. I see myself as a loving mother. I see myself as a well-being ambassador, and I do make plans. So I can see some are coming through. Let me just quickly check. Okay, so Maureen said, I see myself as a good, loving mother. Good, great. A good professional in my career of choice. A good friend, good. Maureen, I'm not sure if you are in your career of choice, but just being really explicit of what that is. So, if you don't know now, that's fine, but it is a work, it does take time to craft your professionalism. I'm sincere, generous, and hardworking. Yeah, I agree. Narcissist relationship does or can ruin your self-worth, but you have to make the change. I didn't know where I was going to end up, but I knew I had to get out. So, it did take a lot of sacrifice. It did mean that I had to leave the marital bed and make those changes and really, delve deep into who I am. Hardworking, go-getter, motivator, good, great. Good. Okay, so really good examples coming in the self-talk section. Sometimes having a supportive network can work in your favor, but sometimes also it can bring you down, or it can actually keep you stagnant in your position. I do have a close relationship with friends that have known me since secondary school, but I do find that in order to achieve all the above, you do need to set that time for yourself as well. But having a supportive network, not a network that's going to moan and groan with you and say, yes, he did do this, or, you know, it's not that. That's not a supportive network sometimes, because it does actually hinder our process to move forward. But a network that listens to you, that's not going to judge you, and that is actually your cheerleaders, people that are going to look at your goals and say, yes, you can, people that are going to encourage you. So I would say, you know, events like this, Joan, is amazing. It does allow people to share. It does allow people to network as well and find out. So I do believe in diversity inclusion, and many people will actually don't understand what diversity inclusion means. But again, on my self journey, the reason why I made that choice of a divorce, I had to look within myself. Now I have got, I mean, you can't see it, but I'll share it. It's on my website, and I've become really brave and embraced it. And that's what makes me. But part of my reason for divorce and letting go is that I've got a heart condition. And that meant that if I don't make changes in my life, then I could have a heart attack and die. And literally that was my calling. So it's really important to, if you are suffering from chronic health, or you are perhaps fragile in your mental health, it is about gaining a good support network, and also just believing in yourself, because there's nothing like staying in something that's going to maybe eat you up if that's a relationship. Then I'm going to move on to the topic of dress for success. At the moment, we're not going anywhere, but do make...
Well, darling, can you enlarge the PowerPoint? Because it's difficult to see it.
Okay, let me just see, because I'm sharing it from... So it's not, it's on, oh, here we are. Present, let me just go to present. Yes, thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you, my darling.
That's right. So yeah, at the moment, COVID is quite difficult to go out and do what we normally do. But, you know, take moments when the ban is lifted, and even now, to dress for success. And that means you are your personal brand. You might think, well, I haven't got a business. No, it means that self-care. So good images lets people know that, you know, that you are showing good performance. Even if your goals are clear to you, your image may prevent others from seeing you. So the idea of building an image is about being more of yourself and putting your best self forward. Image is not just clothes you wear, but it's how you talk, the impressions that you give to people in your everyday life. That's just a bit of research. Again, I think when I was going through some troubles many years in my teens, I wasn't an academic. Like I said, my GCSE results weren't the greatest, but through training, resilience, I've then gone on to do my degree, my master's. So I am a bit of an academic. So certain presentations will include some references here. But overall, we say appearance accounts for 55%. Our voice, our tone is 38%, and the words that we use is 7%. So when people meet you, wearing clothes, special clothes to interviews is important. So, you know, if you are going to interviews now, you know, appearance, people make a judgment, unfortunately, within the first few seconds. So I'm just going to end by saying, you know, what are your goals? So we are in 2021, and I'm going to ask, you know, where are you now? And it might be quite difficult because of COVID and lockdown. But I want you to start thinking about, well, what are your plans? Yeah, what do you want to achieve in 2021 and beyond? And try and make a plan up to 5 years. I know sometimes you might think, you know, it sounds far-fetched, but making plans and putting that out, whether you believe in God or whether you believe in the universe, you know, you are born, or you were born for a purpose. And when you practice these things on a daily basis, you do work towards your goals, then you will start seeing results. So don't think about goals being quite far-fetched and that you can't achieve it, you can't get a house because, you know, how am I going to do this? You know, when you put things out there, good vibrations, affirmations, prayer, meditation, it will all start forming in place. Can anyone drop some chat in the chat function of where you are now or what your plans will be? Just a few examples to share. Anyone? Goal set for, okay, good, for the year. To buy another house, great, I love that. Starting a business, okay, good. Building a career, establishing my business, okay, good. Take today, the rest of today or within the next week to write down your goals and explore that. And I will send everyone a plan that will help you do that. Feeling focused on my direction, okay. Changing your job, build the Queen network further, good. I like that, Joan. Yeah, vision board. Someone said having a vision board. What is the idea of a vision board? The person who posted that, do you want to share your ideas of a vision board? Is it Linda? Do you mind talking and sharing your idea of a vision board? Okay, that's fine. Vision boards work for me. I would say vision board could be words or it could be images. So start collecting images that you want to attract in your life and placing that in your room, your office, somewhere where you're going to see it and be reminded all the time. A vision board really does allow you to focus, and when your brain, your subconscious mind sees these images, it then starts to form a pattern, and it gets really technical, but that's something that I do use in everyday life. Okay. Changing career, great. Writing a book, I love that, Elizabeth. Okay, some really good examples there. So you know exactly what you want. That's great. I have got several tools that I can give to the queens that are on this platform. So Joan, I will send that to you. And this is an action plan that will help you look at where you are now, what do you want to achieve, why you want to achieve it, and you know, what would be your success criteria. When you achieve that, what would you achieve from that? Yeah, what does it mean that you elevate in your business, in your career? Yeah, who's going to help you on that journey? Would it be Joan? Would it be other coaches? Yeah, would it be your friends? Would it be your partner? Yeah, so these are the really good tools to use. And I will send you items on my self-coach journal as well that will help you on, you know, I do believe that journaling is really good as well, writing, you know, what you want to achieve, but equally how your day's been. Yeah, but the self-coach journal that I have allows you to really look at the different types of resources in my learning platform. And for example, if you are going through adversity and stress, you can watch a video by Judy Love. She shares a lot of her stories around self-care and love, and then you might want to fill out some sort of action plans about how to take accountability. So I'll share that information with Joan when that becomes live, and we're aiming for next week, which is next week is Valentine's, right?
Great. So you finished?
Yeah, that's it. Thank you, Joan.
Oh, thank you. I mean, what can I say? It's all things that resonate with a lot of us. Affirmations are key. I mean, as I open my eyes, I'm in my bed, I'm strong, I'm powerful, I'm resilient, I'm powerful. And, you really have to boost yourself up and, empower yourself, especially in these times. So that's one of the key things that I think everybody should be doing. Write it on a post-it, stick it all over your house. So as you're walking around, you can see, I am strong. It's on your fridge, I am brilliant. It's on your bathroom door, I am beautiful.
Yeah,
So that's
absolutely.
what
I have got merchandises of some wall art, and I'm drinking from a cup with lemon tea, which is Let Go, Start Living, just to remind ourselves of, what our goals are. And being really honest with yourself about your circle of friends as well. So if you do get the friends that are maybe saying, oh, you can't do that, or why would you do this, and being a critic of your direct, don't share anything. That's one thing that I don't do, is share anything that I'm manifesting, because again, another session maybe is around energy healing. Yeah.
Yeah, very, very true. And I love, what sort of like resonates and quite, flows through what you're actually trying to deliver. It really is about letting go and just start living. Yeah, which is key. So, Shel, thank you so much for your presentation. Please post your contact details into the chat. I should have said that as well, part of the housekeeping. If presenters could post their contact details into the chat, that would be fabulous. Thank you so much. So I'm going to be moving on to our next presenter. Well, what can I say? This woman is a real powerhouse. Loraine Martin, OBE, FRSA. Loraine is the Director of Diversity and Inclusion at Network Rail, which maintains and develops Britain's rail infrastructure. Loraine, my darling, are you there? Have you got your mic on? Are you there, Loraine?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Wonderful, because that mute thing wasn't in my control at the moment. So if you can hear me, we're doing really well.
Yes, we can hear you. So if
And
I can
can you see my screen as well?
Yes, if you could make it.
I'm going to do my best.
Yeah.
Here we go.
You're going to conquer technology.
I am. Good morning, and thank you for that introduction, Joan. It's an absolute pleasure to be here. I have to say, 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning, this would not necessarily be my choice of activity, but I'm really glad to be here.
Oh, we're so grateful you could be with us.
No. How could I miss it?
Yeah, it's just nice to see, there are powerful, resilient Black women out there just rocking up things, and reaching the top. We need to see you. So, thank you, my darling. Welcome.
Thank you. And really good morning, my queens and kings on the call. There's so many of you there, and there are a number of very familiar names there, which is really lovely to see. So I'm going to talk about my journey. I did like the subtitle that you offered here, Joan, in terms of drive, resilience and determination. And I guess those things are kind of watchwords to how I approach my life, really. Chanel, when you were asking me to comment, I was trying, but I was muted. So it wasn't that I was ignoring you or not participating. I'm going to talk a little bit about myself, and then talk about some of the things that I guess are watchwords for my approach, both to work and to life, and then hopefully end up with something that's useful for you as a bit of a takeaway. So I always like to start by saying a little bit about myself. I've got a few pictures here which mean nothing but something to me. And I will start with Brook Road, Rectory Road, N16, because that's where I live. I'm from North London, which is the right side of London, and I know some of you are from South, and some of you defected from North. I know that as well, but grew up in North London. I'm further north than where we started. lived in Hackney, or the Federal Republic of Stoke Newington for some time. Love it. The reason I live in Hackney is because I couldn't afford to live in northwest London, which is where I grew up. And that takes me to the picture of the hill. So this is Primrose Hill in northwest London, and this is where I went to primary school. When we went to primary school, it was a little bit posh, but a very mixed community of black kids, Turkish kids, Pakistani kids, white kids, Irish kids, a really, really mixed environment. And I remember in my primary school that we used to have a wall in our playground, and this will date me actually. So we had a wall in the playground which divided the boys and the girls. So the girls had the small playground, which so that we could do skipping, we could play hopscotch, and those kind of things, and champ. And the boys had a really massive playground so that they could play football. And one of the things that I remember as a kid growing up is that we had a campaign to knock the wall down. And I still remember the chant to this day. So I remember I'm in primary school and the chant was, "We want the wall down, knock it down, kick it down." And oops, wait, my computer's doing its own thing. Go back, she said. Yep, sorry about that. Bit of a prelude. So what happened was the wall came down, and so we ended up with a really big playground in which boys and girls could mix. I could go and play football because I used to like to play football as a kid. I used to tell people that my dad was Pele, and they used to believe me because all black people look alike, but that's a separate story. But it gave me confidence that if you campaign for things, you can get change. And I think that's a really interesting lesson to have as a small child. Anyway, so Primrose Hill, from Primrose Hill, moved to Kilburn, and then went to Paddington School. And I know that a number of my vitamin Fs are on the call. Well, I'm hoping they are. That was an incredible experience. So it started off for me, I went to grammar school, which was Paddington Girls' School, and then we joined North Paddington and became Paddington School. And I am immensely grateful for that experience. And it has been one of the foundations for all of the things that I've done, really, because I've made some fantastic relationships which have stood me for all of my life. But I also learned a lot of different things, and was exposed to lots of different types of people. And I think that has been really influential in how I both approach people, but also how I try and conduct myself. So Primrose Hill, as you see there, is one of my favorite spots in London. If you ever get to go there, my brother and I used to go up the hill and ride our bikes freewheeling down the hill. A few accidents, few scars on our legs, but we absolutely loved it. So Primrose Hill, is where I went to primary school, but I'm from northwest London. The next picture is, if I'm moving across, is a karaoke queen. So I fancied myself as a little bit of a singer. Not that I'm good. I can carry a tune. I'm not going to be famous, but I do fancy myself as a bit of a singer. And I became a karaoke queen because I've won 2 competitions. I am competitive and I'll own that, but in terms of karaoke, I hadn't had a particular drive to kind of enter any competition. But what happened was, in 1996, went to the St. Lucia Jazz Festival and was walking down, I think it was called the Rex then, the hotel, and heard this noise kind of wafting through the environment. I was like, what the hell is that? Walked down, so somebody was singing and they were doing their best. And I thought, well, look, I'm sure I can have a crack at that. So buoyed with my confidence, sometimes a bit misplaced, I had a go at Gloria Gaynor's I Will Survive. And lo and behold, victory was mine. And I think it wasn't so much my singing tones. I think it was really the gesticulation that I was deploying. It was go on now, go, walk out the door, just turn around now, you're not. So I think that was really how I managed to sequester that. So I describe myself actually as an international karaoke queen because I won that competition in St. Lucia. So that's international, right? And then buoyed by that success, a friend of mine had a karaoke party in Kensal Rise. And if some of you are on the call who will remember that, I'll keep the names out to protect the innocent. And confident again, I went for it and I sang this song, Hang On In There Baby by Johnny Bristol. And again, victory was mine. So I'm a karaoke queen. And both times I enjoyed that karaoke without any substances. So no alcohol, nothing. I just did it on the vibe of me. As I go around, Stevie Wonder's album, Songs in the Key of Life. So I've talked to you a little bit about the fact that I like a little bit of singing. I have a massive record collection. I fancy myself as a little bit of a DJ, definitely in my student days, and I've been known to rock the odd party now and again. And this album is one of my all-time favorite albums. And I think it's because of the lyrics. I think it's because the musicianship. So I used to play keyboards, I used to play steel pan. I've got a little bit of a musical ear, and all of those things are really important to me. So I look at this album and I think about all of the lyrics, the meanings. And I think it was really when in 2016, when he came over to Hyde Park and celebrated the anniversary of this album and sang the whole album from in the exact order as it is live, that I realized how much I love this Stevie Wonder, and I love this album. But I don't say I like all forms of music. I like reggae, I like lovers rock, Studio One, jazz. Yeah, that's my thing. So that's my record collection. Then we've got the logo Arsenal. So I'm a Gooner. I don't know if any of you queens follow football, but I follow football. And when I say I follow football, I'm a season ticket holder for Gooner. So I really do follow football. Not being able to go over lockdown is yeah, it's a bit of a loss for me. So how did I get into football? Well, when we were young, my dad took my brother and I to a football match. And my brother, being the boy, said, I'm going to have the team in blue. The team in blue was Chelsea. So I said, okay, I'll have the team in red. And the team in red was Arsenal. So there has been this rivalry between my brother and I ever since we were kids. And then my little sister decided she wanted to be a Spurs fan. And I think she only did that to really irritate me as an Arsenal fan. I don't think she really understands football. But nevertheless, I go to all the home matches when I can. And why do I like it? I just like football. I like sports. I used to play netball, I used to play football, badminton, and all the rest of it. But I also, it's a little bit like a guilty pleasure. It's very, very tribal. And I just like the environment, the atmosphere. I should say, just because you're probably developing lots of images of what I look like when I go to a football match. I do sit where all the wags are. So I'm not down there in the stands shouting obscenities. I'm upstairs with the wags and sporting all different types of enjoyments. But I do love football. Warwick University, first in the family to go to Warwick. I studied comparative American studies. And I chose that degree because I wanted to do Black history. And many of you on the call will know when we were at school, there wasn't such a thing as Black history. So it was a real opportunity to understand the Americas, North America, South America, the diaspora, how African people were transported to the Americas, look at the history, literature, economics, politics, and arts, all of the Americas. I really, really liked it. And a number of my friends used to come up and spend some time up there with me in university, which was fantastic. And also I chose Warwick because it was kind of close to home. I could get back to London as soon as I possibly could. Really good grounding for me. And I think that with the kind of culture of campaigning sort of sealed in me a real commitment to making a difference and to making sure that people get their opportunities to be themselves and to excel. So I think the seeds for my work were sown at a very young age, in terms of, as I talked about, the campaign to get the wall knocked down, but also then I think rounded off when I was at university and we set up a Black Women's Society. We had the Africa Society, and we campaigned. I remember the shooting of Colin Roach in Stoke Newington. We came down on a coach. I remember the fire in Deptford. We came down and we brought a whole coach set of people down. So it really began to be quite politicized around inequalities, discrimination. Trust for London. I used to be the vice chair. I've stepped down from that role now. But again, it was an opportunity to the Trust for London is a funding organisation that supports inequality, tries to address inequality and poverty in London. And I cut my teeth in. My first career was working in the voluntary sector. And it was with an organisation called the Caribbean Communications Project, teaching African Caribbean people, building their literacy and numeracy skills. And being on the Trust for London was being on the other side, so making funding decisions about which organisations would get money. The Trust for London is about 130 years old. It's a very revered organisation. So being the vice chair was a real honour. But the thing that I'm most pleased about was that I chaired the campaign for the London living wage. So we funded that initiative to £1 million. And the living wage is to make sure that people can live adequately in London, getting more than the minimum wage. That means that they don't have to have in-work poverty, which is a serious issue for our communities in particular, and really heightened in London because it's such an expensive place to live. So we funded that campaign, and today now it's become a national campaign. The government has kind of taken over the language of living wage, but over 4,000 organisations now pay their people a living wage, and the impact of that is absolutely phenomenal. So that's one of the things that I'm really proud of. And then the final picture in the middle is of a underwater theme park, and it's in Grenada, and some people call me an honorary Grenadan, but this is one of my favourite places to go, Grenada, and this is one of my favourite sites to see. So if any of you, once lockdown is finished and you've all got your vaccine and we're all able to travel and whatever, I would recommend you go there. And I don't have any shares in the Grenadan tourist industry, but what you're looking at here is a sculpture of which is a testament to the slave trade, in which we were brought from Africa to the Caribbean, to the Americas, and we died in that trade. And the sculptor wanted to kind of honor the loss of hundreds of thousands of people in that trade. And so there are two underwater theme parks, one in Cancun and one in Grenada. And what you do is you get on a little boat, you go out to the aquamarine park, and if you're an adept swimmer like myself, you go into the water, you get your snorkels, and you can see all of these different sculptures underwater. It's very evocative, very emotive. It's really quite a moving thing, and it's really quite an exciting thing. If you're not a confident swimmer, if you don't swim at all, you can still put on a life jacket, put on your goggles, and you'll be able to see. So I really would recommend you seeing it, because I think it's something, you know, that kind of honors an aspect of our history in a really very unique and quite a moving way. So I share this kind of stuff about me because you will have had all of the blurb, you know, OBE, MBE. Those are things which are nice to have, but you know, I'm more than you know, as we all are, I'm more than those accolades. And I know that when I walk on the streets, people won't know that I've got an OB or an MBE. That's kind of irrelevant. They'll see a Black woman, and I will encounter the world as much as you will, in terms of people being disrespectful or making assumptions about me. So I'm hopefully a fully rounded person. And by way of supplementing, I think what Chanel was talking about earlier, I wanted to just go through some of what I think are some of the watchwords for what's guided me. And this is me raving at a young age. I think I was about 5 or 6. And I like it as a picture because I like to dance, yeah, it just is I think a nice representation of me. So you've got 8 to be great here really, and I think for me the guiding things that have helped me through life and through my career is one, having a passion. I'm absolutely passionate about people getting their rights, people not being discriminated against, social justice. Those things are really core to me, and I think an injustice to one is an injustice to all, and I believe that, and throughout my career that has been something that I've always striven to try and address. Similarly, I'm passionate about people, I'm passionate about music, I'm passionate about the arts, and having a passion, it gives you energy, and so determining what your passion is, I think, helps to propel you in the direction that you want to go in. The second thing is work. My parents always told me that I would have to work twice as hard to get what white people would have to get, because the world would be an unforgiving place for a little black girl. I think that has stood me in good stead, and I do work incredibly hard. But I also think I've reaped the benefits of that. So I guess working hard is something that I do, and when I put my mind to things, I think I can achieve great things. I'm not afraid to work, and I think that work is important, and that work can be both working on yourself, which Chanel was talking about, which is really, really important work, as well as working to kind of make progress both at work and for our community. Focus. I as you have heard, I like many things, and I've learned to focus as I've grown into myself. And that focus has enabled me to kind of cut through things and really be clear about what I need to do, what my purpose is, and how I can contribute and make things better, both for myself and for others. Push, that's really about drive. I think, once you've got your energy, you've got your focus, you've got your drive and your push, that will help to propel you, I think, in the direction that you need to go in. And I am constantly pushing myself. As I said, I am highly competitive, and I'm not competitive against people. I'm competitive against myself. I want to do the best. I want to be the best. And so that push and that drive and that energy is something that for me is really important. The fifth thing is about ideas. So I am fascinated by both ideas and by things and by the way people think. So I think having an open mind, being receptive to different such suggestions, different propositions, is a really important facet if you want to be successful. I stand on the shoulders of so many people, and it's through their ideas and through that exchange of ideas that I've been able to grow. And it's not to say that you have to agree with everything, but being able to analyze, critique, break things down is really important. The sixth part is improve. I am constantly trying to be better. I said I'm trying to be best. I want to be the best me I possibly can. I want my environment to improve. And I think those things are catalysts and a bit of a drive to me to make things better for people. The seventh thing is around serve. And so I think, particularly as a leader in the space that I work in, an organization which is predominantly male, predominantly white, I think the way that I serve them best is by critiquing and challenging the business to do better, but also in providing that service, I'm also there full square with them and owning the ways in which we need to work. And I think if you want to be a leader, I think the best leader is to serve. It's in the purpose of others, giving to others, helping others to grow, to be themselves, to deliver to the kind of plans that you have. There is no better way, I think, than to serve others. And I hope and continue to hope that the things that I do serve myself, my community, and the business. And then the 8th thing, which speaks to kind of resilience, really is about persistence. You will know, each of you, you will have looked at a wall, or you would have had a mountain to climb, and you'll think, well, how am I going to do that? And it is that persistence. You know, you get knocked down, you have to get up again. You might have to go around it, you might have to go under it, but you still have to continue a drive to get to where you are in order to kind of deliver your passion. So those are the things for me that have been a really useful kind of watchword for how I conduct myself and try and operate in this world. And I say that and the word try is kind of, it's a funny word because it kind of connotes that you might not quite get there, but I know that I'm still a work in progress. So for me, I don't want to pick, I'm not a perfect individual by any stretch of the imagination, but I do endeavor always to kind of try and live out these values. So Chanel made a really interesting comment.
Sorry, Loraine, you've gone over slightly the time. Have you got many more slides, my darling? Hang on, Rudy, can you unmute a minute? You got 2 more? Okay.
Unmute yourself, Loraine, please.
Can you still see the slide?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you see the slide? Sorry.
Yes, you can see it. Yes, the
What
one
does it say?
to stand out. Yes.
Right. Okay. So this is what it feels to be like a kind of successful Black woman, or this is what it feels like to be a Black person, or whatever. However you react to this, but I guess my takeaway would be: don't be afraid to stand out. You know your purpose. You know what you want to do. You understand the kind of things that are driving you. Then I think take those reins and make sure that you stand out for a real good purpose. And I'll draw a pause there because I'm conscious that I've run over time.
That's fine. Was that the last one, or is there another one?
I think my last one was thank you.
Oh, okay. Loraine, thank you so much. But it takes a lot to, you know, get to where you want to be in any career, you know, and you're a testament to that. So thank you very much. I'm going to speedily move on to our next presenter, Yvonne Michelle. Are you there, my darling? Put my camera on, sorry. Yvonne Michelle, can you unmute yourself? Known as the Queen of Inspirational Speaking.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Queen.
Wonderful. Can you see the screen?
Yeah, can you make it bigger for us, darling?
I will, my darling. I will. I'm just going to move that here and present that. We hope that will work.
That's it. Yes.
Okay. Right.
Yes.
Right. So, oopsie daisy. So, good morning, queens and kings. How are you? I hope that you are well. My name is Yvonne Michelle, and I'm very, very happy to be here. So thank you so much for the invitation. Now, before we get started, we have been sitting for a long time. So I don't have any music, but what I do have, and I believe that we all have, is a little bit of rhythm in our minds, in our hearts, in our souls. And so I want us to take a deep breath in and then release it. And then I want us to just shake ourselves loose. Come on, ladies. I know that you have rhythm and everything in your soul. Just shake it out, because we're sitting down. Well, most of us are sitting down. So let us get ourselves ready to be motivated and pumped up this morning. Great. The other ladies who spoke this morning, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure to listen to you. And I will be connecting with both of you after this. It's really, really inspiring. So I'm just going to kick in and I won't be long. Right, so as I said, my name is Flavia Michelle, and what I want you to know, ladies, is within you is the power to rise above any situation or struggle and transform into the brightest, strongest version of you ever. Yeah, you have the capability, the possibility there is there, and it is all within you. So the first thing I want you to do is make a declaration and say that everything starts with me, right? Not with me, you know, it's not me, but it's with you. But that's your declaration and your affirmation for this morning. Everything starts with me. And I want you to put that on the chat. Come on, ladies, everything starts with me. Everything starts with me. Everything starts with me. It doesn't start with your neighbor. It doesn't start with your friend. It don't start with your mom, your dad, your sister, your auntie, anybody else. It starts with you. And this morning, it's all about taking responsibility for where we are. Yeah, taking full responsibility for where we are in our lives. Good, bad, ugly, indifferent. It doesn't matter what you have been through. We're going to take responsibility, because when we take responsibility for where we are in our lives, it positions us in a completely different place. 1 in the mind, 2 in the heart, and 3 in the spirit. It just changes everything when you start taking responsibility and you stop the blame game. Okay, so I'm just going to tell you, I thought about what I would say, what makes us on fire, what gives us fire. And you know, I had a whole different thing planned, and then yesterday I had a memory on Facebook. So those of you who are on Facebook, you will know that you get these lovely memories that happened years ago. And this memory happened 3 years ago. I wrote a book. I was part of a project and I wrote a book. Now, I never thought that I would become an author, because my background is I left school with nothing. I had my first child when I was 16. I was called a disgrace within my family. I was known as the black sheep of the family. And so I was the one that everybody wanted to hide because, you know, shame. But what also happened before that is that my mother passed away when I was 11. She passed away on Mother's Day, which was very, very tragic, very suddenly. And Mother's Day, it doesn't matter what day of the year it falls on, it always feels like that was the day she passed away. That's the connection. So Mother's Day has always been a difficult time, even though I'm a mother. Yeah, so I don't know if anyone can relate to that, but when you lose somebody significant in your life, there is a trauma attached to it. And so that's the one thing. So that was at the age of 11. So that happened on the 29th of March, 1981. So the second thing that happened is that on the following Wednesday, the sexual abuse started with a family member. So this happened for a period of 18 months. I was 11 years old. Now, I kept that secret for 33 years. That's a long time to keep a secret. And I know that as women, there are things that we have been through in our life that we never talk about. We never address it. We don't look at it. We sweep it under the carpet. We put it in a drawer and we hope that it goes away. But today's a different day, is a new day. And I want to share with you my journey of being a queen on fire. Yeah, a queen on fire, as we are. And we are all powerful. And I want you to understand, when I speak some words, I want you to break the words down in your mind and in your spirit. So when I say powerful, I want you to see the power in you and that you are full of the power. So it's not just you're powerful, you are powerful. You are resourceful. Everything that is full is in you. And like I said in the beginning, everything starts with me. And that means you. Okay, so I kept a secret for 33 years because I was scared. And I kept that secret because I was scared. I was ashamed. I felt guilty. I felt that it was my fault. And all those years, that secret affected me. I was a functioning victim. You hear of functioning alcoholics? There are functioning victims. And many of us, especially Black women, are. Okay, that's who we are. Okay, so, but anyway, this secret, what this secret helped me to do was to sabotage myself and sabotage the most fundamental relationship that I could ever have in my life. That is the relationship that I have with me. That's why I said at the beginning, everything starts with me. So without this relationship, I could not function, right? And without this relationship, my mental health was a struggle to maintain it. Now, I know that some of you, you may not relate to this, but some of you will, okay? And so I felt at the time, without this relationship, without the relationship with myself, I felt like I couldn't breathe, even though I was breathing. I was functioning, I set up a business, I did all these different things, but I still felt that there was something missing. I could not connect with me, with myself. Now, ladies, the most important person you will ever connect with, I'm sorry to tell you, is not your husband. It is not. The most important person that you will connect with in your lifetime is you. Without you, you are the common denominator of everything. We are women, we build, we grow, we plant, everything is within us. Yeah, and as Joan said at the beginning of this, you guys are doing lots of things, you've got a challenge, and there's only one man. Everywhere we go, the men are few, but the women are rising up. We are rising up, and we're rising up in power. Why is this? It's because we've now decided to put the fear aside and do what is necessary for us to move forward, not only for ourselves, but for our children and their children and their children's children, because the legacy starts with us. That's where it starts. Yeah. And that is why I say again, everything starts with me. Right. So if we was in a live place now, I would get you to say it with me, but you're not, we're not live. So like I said, I couldn't connect with myself. So every relationship became tainted, every single one. I didn't like me. I didn't like what I saw. I criticized myself. I harmed myself. I allowed others to do the same, and then would be blaming them. Oh, this one did this, and this one did that, and this one did the other. But actually, when you take responsibility for yourself and for what goes on around you, the victim, you stop that and you start taking responsibility, and it empowers you to do some great things. Right, so what I recognize is I didn't have a relationship with myself. So what I've done today, and it's not normally what I would do, is I have made an acronym from self, and these are the 4 things that I did, significant things that I did for myself to get myself to where I am today. But before I do that, I just want to say that the book that I wrote was about injustice. I am a community, what would they call me? A community leader. I do lots of stuff with the inner community in Luton. I'm not a Londoner. I am a country girl. Even in the Caribbean, it is country. My mother is from Portland, Jamaica, the country. Everything about me is country, but I love the country living. Do you get me? I do. So I wrote this book. I wrote a part of this book, and I spoke about the injustice of the justice system. And what I will say to you is I'll come to that at the end, I'll tell you what happened in the end. But as I'm going through, I'm going to take you just quickly through these slides. And this is how to build a relationship with the self. Now, the self is about your consciousness. It is, and one of the first speaker was talking about the unconscious mind and consciousness. And as an NLP master practitioner and hypnotherapist, it is so important to connect with the inner self, right? With the inner self. So this is what I'm just going to give you a few simple tips of how you can build a relationship with the self. And the first thing is, the first question I'm going to ask you is, what secrets are holding you hostage? What secrets are holding you hostage? That's the first question I want you to ask yourself. What secrets are holding, and I want you to say it like this, what hot secrets are holding me hostage? Everything I say, I want you to take it in for yourself. Make this really personal, because everything that we do from this moment forward is a personal journey. Even though it may be a group thing, within that group, it's a personal journey. So what secrets do you have that are holding you hostage? Now, we all have secrets. Some secrets you might be able to tell your girlfriend about, but there are some secrets you will keep to yourself. Why? Guilt, shame, pain, whatever the issue is that you may feel, or that emotion that you feel about yourself, this is the secret that you're holding. It might just be the secret that you just tell yourself every day when you look in the mirror that you don't look nice. That might be your secret, but actually we're going to expose that today. Because when you keep secrets, they keep you. And this is about letting go of all stuff, all of those things, so that you can be free. 100%. 100%. Okay. So what secrets are holding you hostage? I'm going to try and go in. I'm going to try and go in the chat. I don't know. Right. And see if there's anything in here. And let me go up. Yeah. Thank you, my darling. Yeah, I see. Love your energy. Love you. Got lots. Right. So what secrets are holding you hostage? You can write it in the chat and I will check it shortly, because I am mindful of time as well. Right. So the first, whoa, hold on. There we go. Right. So the acronym is SELF. So the S is for serve, right? I want you to think about serve, and there it's got to perform duties or service for yourself or a person or an organization. The first thing to having that connection with yourself and taking responsibility for yourself is to serve yourself first. Now, I'm taking this from the viewpoint, I believe that most of us on here have traveled at some stage on a plane, have traveled somewhere. I'm hoping. If you haven't, the lovely air stewardesses will do all of these things. You do, here's the thing, here's the line, the emergency door is here. If the things come down, you put the mask over your face. One of the instructions that they give is that if you are with children, or you are with the elderly, or with somebody else, when the masks come down, you put the mask on yourself first. You do not put the mask on your children. You put it on yourself first. The question is, why? Why should we do that? Because in our instincts as women, we would go to help our children first. But if we help our children first, and then we are so busy trying to help them that we have no breath ourselves, we will die and so will they, because you won't have the time or the strength to do the job in hand, and that is to save your children. So one of the things that we are taught as women is always to give out to others first. But if you are depleted, if you are in pain, if you are hurting, you cannot give from an empty cup. Yeah, your cup should be full. So this is why the first thing that I learned to do, going through, and this is in my adult life, this is not as the 11-year-old child, I had to learn to serve myself, give to myself. Really take that moment like you do this morning. You're here this morning, you're listening to all these great speakers, you come and you walk and you do all of those lovely stuff, but it's so important that you serve yourself first. Even at home, you see, when you have dinner and you have a husband, who do you serve first? You give him the biggest plate, the biggest piece of chicken, the biggest rice and peas. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. But what we do is then we take the little plate and we eat from the little saucer. We need to serve ourselves, because we are queens. And queens are served, and they serve themselves first. Is it Elizabeth? Her name is Queen Elizabeth, or is it? Yeah, she's Elizabeth. She served. Serve yourself. So ladies, the first thing I want you to do and remember is to serve yourself. The next thing, the E for self, is engage. What do you really want? What do you really, really want? I want you to write it down. If you had a magic wand and you could have anything you wanted in your life and you knew that you could just command it and it would happen, what would it be? What would it be? What would it look like? Yeah, so engage is to occupy or to attract. Yeah, so I want you to think about what you really like or need. As a woman, we spend a lot of time thinking about what others need. So really, I want our focus to be on the self, and that is one of the problems that we have as women, or the issues that we have as women. We generally tend to, everything is outside of us. And I want us to bring this inside of us, because in the inside is what counts. What goes on inside of you internally is what counts, because you see all of this can be a mask functioning and inside can be dying. So my role and what I believe that I am on this earth to do is not to really make friend and make susu and make all of them thing there. That's not what I'm here to do. My role, my goal is to disrupt your normal. And we've had the biggest disruption of our normal that we will probably ever see in our lifetime with COVID. Yeah, it's disrupting. But I'm here to disrupt that new normal, to shake you and say to you, it starts with you. You can do anything you want to do. You can change your life in a heartbeat if you want to, and if you are determined, if you're willing to do that, you can do it. And there are people around, there are coaches, there are mentors around to help you. So there is nothing to stop you, right? Apart from you. You are the only thing that will stop you. So the next thing is to engage and spend less time worrying about others and worrying about what's really going on inside of you. Yeah, and action that. Don't sit there and worry about it, but make significant changes. Write down what you want to see, what you want to be, and how you want to feel, what you want to do. Write those things down and then start taking those steps towards it. The next one is to listen, which is the L in self. Listen to your instincts. They will never, ever, ever lead you wrong. Your intuition is your power. That is what gives you the fullness thereof in your power. Learn to listen to you, that inner voice, the still voice, not the one that's telling you that you're not good enough, the voice that's telling you that you're too fat, the one that, you know, when you look you look you from your periphery and you see your bottom, and you think, boy, the bottom I get too big now. It's not that voice. No, it's not. It's the voice that tells you, that still quiet voice that says to you, you are powerful. You can do this. You will do this. You must do this. It's that voice. Listen to your intuition. Your intuition, as I said, will never lead you wrong. And here's an example of your intuition. You know, sometimes you're driving down the road, you're not using a sat nav, and your mind will tell you to go one way, but you know you normally go another way. But if you follow that mind will take you and lead you the way that you need to go, out of all the traffic that you would normally find yourself in. Listen, how many times have we said, if I did follow my mind, if I did follow my mind, if I did listen, then listen. Listen to your instinct. Listen to your intuition. We as women, our intuition is top dollar. Men would pay to have the intuition that we have. They really would. It's something that we've been gifted from the maker, from God, the universe, whoever you are, give the accolade to. That is where that comes from. So learn to listen. And
Hello, my darling. How many more slides do we have? Oh, hold on. I can't hear. Oops. How many more slides?
oh, there you go. Can you hear me? Yes,
Yeah.
that's it. The last one is just hello. Thank you. That's it. This is the last one.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I know you're in your flow.
No. I'm done. Forgive. It's the last one.
Well, let's see your thank you slide then.
Right. So hold on. It's just really with me on it. That's it. That's it. So the last one is the most important one. The last, in terms of having a relationship with yourself, it's the biggest one and the most important one, and it is about forgiveness. And I started with the secret that I had in the beginning, and I kept that secret for 33 years. It held me hostage. I didn't even know that it was holding me hostage, but I had to learn to forgive myself. And once I forgave myself for everything that's happened, my choices, even handling how, when my mother died, because I had a child who died, so, and I went through all of that grief. I had to forgive myself for even how I grieved, because there was so much outside stuff coming in that it made me really disconnect with who I am as a woman. So a failed marriage, all of these things, if we hold on, if we keep holding on to these things and we don't let go, it will hold us hostage, which brings me right back to the first slide. So ladies, I know that I've really probably spoken at 100 miles an hour this morning. I wanted to get this out, but I just wanted to say to you that forgiveness is the key to everything. And once you start to forgive yourself, you will start to live a life of freedom. And that is what it's about. Being a queen on fire means that you are totally free in every aspect of your life. And so I'm going to leave it there because I don't want to go any further over time. My name is Yvonne Michelle, and I am a coach. And if you would like to connect with me, then I would love to connect with you. Thank you for this time. Thank you for your love.
Oh, thank you so much, Yvonne. Absolutely amazing. Brilliant. Thank you for such a deep, thought-provoking presentation. You shared a lot, and hopefully guests on the platform, please post your questions into the chat. You have an opportunity to ask questions directly to the presenters. So I'm going to be speedily moving along to Vernon Duncan, as we are running a little bit behind time. Managing Director of Red Rider Consultancy, a professionally qualified personal performance coach, Myers-Briggs type indicator and neuro-linguistic program practitioner, and also an adult education teacher. So Verna, are you there, my dear? On the platform, we just need to get you unmuted.
Yvonne,
Yeah,
could you stop
do it.
sharing your screen, please?
Right
Thank you.
now. Yeah, so sorry.
Thank you. Right, Verna, can we unmute you? You there? Wonderful. So if you can make your presentation, that's it. Bigger. Right. Okay. So Verna's mission is to provide a positive, motivational, inspirational and empowerful platform for women to come together, thrive and be part of a group of like-minded, positively driven women. So welcome, Verna.
Thank you so much, thank you. And yes, we've had some powerful speakers this morning, absolutely awesome. And wow, I'm just hoping that I'm able to follow that. But thank you, Joan, for inviting me to be a part of this panel. So let me just introduce myself. As Joan said, my name is Verna Duncan, and I am a coach, trainer, and also a teacher at an adult education college in South London. And my goal and aim is to work with women to help them to achieve their goals and work towards whatever it is that you want to achieve in life and help you to bring it into reality. So that's what I do. So I believe that it's absolutely crucial. It's really crucial at this time, all the things that's going on around us with this pandemic, for us to stay focused on our goals and to use this time wisely, because we're not gonna get this time back. So it's up to us to use it for our advantage. So we're seeing the unemployment rate, it's rised and to a phenomenal amount at this stage. So it's really important for us to set ourselves goals, to keep focused and on track, and to be motivated and to get that sense of accomplishment. So just think, if you don't set yourself goals, you will lose focus. You'll be aimless and you'll have no real purpose. And in 5 years' time, you could be doing the exact same thing that you're doing right now. How many of you known people or seen people that you haven't seen for years, and you say to them, gosh, you know, what have you been doing over the last few years? And they'll be like, nothing really, haven't done anything, same old, same old. That's why it's really important for you to set yourself goals, because you don't want to be in the position that you are now, in 5 years' time. So set yourself goals. So that's what we're going to do today. Okay, so try and get with this screen. So it's very important to start with your end goal in mind. I want you to think about, where will you be this time next year? What do you plan to have achieved? So write it down. Today is, and write the date down, and write what you plan to have achieved this time next year. It's so easy for us to just stay in our comfort zone. And that was me. When I worked for the local authority for over 20 years. And I was there in my comfort zone for 20 years. It wasn't until I was made redundant on 3 occasions when I actually took the hint. It was time for me to move on. Now, I didn't know what I was going to move on to do, but I realized it was time for me to do something else. I was not in the right place. I didn't know what place that right place looked like or what I was going to go on to do. But it turns out that I found out that I was interested in coaching. And I developed a career in coaching. I became a coach. I qualified, and that's where I was meant to be. Now I'm coaching, I'm training, I'm working with people, I'm working in the local colleges, and it's just been phenomenal. So where do you see yourself this time next year? We are actually going through a pandemic, as we know. People are losing their job, businesses are closing down, people are being made redundant. So you need to think about what you want. What do you want to achieve? Start setting yourself goals. So what I want you to do is you wrote down where you saw yourself this time next year. Where are you on a scale of 1 to 10? Write it down, or even put it in the chat. Where are you on a scale of 1 to 10 in relation to achieving that goal? Are you at a 2 or a 3? Where are you? Start thinking about it. And then I want you to write down 3 things that you can do to take yourself one step closer towards achieving your goals. 3 things. It could be 3 very, very simple things. Make a phone call, do some research. What can you do that's going to bring you one step closer? Write it down. It's really important for us to take those thoughts out of our head and put it on paper, and then to take action. So of those 3 things that you have written down, which one will you do? Which one will you do? Write it down. And I want you to put a date and a time of when you're actually going to take that action. Then the date and time should be within the next 24 to 48 hours. So what you've actually done is broken down your goals from to manageable chunks, okay? Because you've looked ahead of where you want to be this time next year, and you've broken it down into small manageable chunks. So you can start to take action now to bring it into reality. And how serious are you about taking that action on a scale of 1 to 10? Put it in the chat. And it should be 10. Anything less than a 10, forget it. It must be a 10 out of 10. I want this to happen. I want to achieve this goal. Nothing's going to stop me from taking this action. It's a 10 out of 10. If you put 7 or below 7, you're not serious. You have to really want it. It should be a 9, preferably a 10 out of 10. I want to achieve this goal. This is what I want for myself this time next year. I don't want to be in this position anymore. This is my goal, 10 out of 10, and take the action. It's really important for you to take the action. We could talk about it, but if you don't take the action, then you will be in the same place this time next year and in 5 years' time. So let's start making bringing our goals and making them happen, bringing it into reality. It will be uncomfortable, and we're so used to being in our comfort zone. We can, stay in our comfort zone, but we will not achieve anything by being in our comfort zone. You don't want to set your goals in your panic zone, because in your panic zone, that's when your goal is too big. So what you have just done just now is to break it down. You have broken your goal down into manageable chunks. Just taking you outside of your comfort zone into your stretch zone. That's where all the learning takes place, in that stretch zone. And take the action that you need to take, because you've broken it down into manageable chunks. So let's start taking action. And that goal that you saw, that you wrote down, the goal that you had in your mind's eye, the goal that you want to achieve this time next year, you are going to have to do the things that you need to do, the work that's going to be required, so you can be the person that you want to be, and so that you can have the things that you want to have, okay? So take action so you can become that person. Take action so you can have those things, because you can have it. You can achieve it. You can achieve your goals and your aspirations. You can do it. So, but you have to take the action that you need to take. And you can take those actions by breaking it down into small, manageable chunks. That's going to help you on your journey towards achieving your goal. And it will be hard work. You will come up against blockages, and it's going to be hard work, and you're going to have to stick with it and be patient. You will find ways around it, under it and over it. The key is not to give up. Not to give up on your goals. Stay focused on your goal, and it will happen. You will be able to bring it into fruition. Just stay with it. Stay with it. Everything has got to start from that small tree, the small acorn, that grows into a big oak tree. You've got to start off small, but you stay with it and just keep with it until you achieve your goal. And remember, there is no such thing as failure. So many people give up because they think that they have failed, but you fail your way to success. It's a learning journey. It's about learning and growing and developing and finding new ways of doing things. It's not failure. You have not failed, okay? Stick with it. Don't give up, okay? Because it's all a part of the journey. It's all a part of your learning, growing and developing. It's all a part of the process. So I heard Les Brown say this, and I thought this was just so awesome. He said, the graveyard is the richest place on earth, because it is here that you will find all the hopes and dreams that were never fulfilled, the books that were never written, the songs that were never sung, the intentions that were never shared, the cures that was never discovered, all because someone was too afraid to take that first step. They were too afraid to keep with the problem, or just wasn't determined enough to carry out their dream. Don't take your dream to the grave. You were given that dream for a purpose. Bring it into reality. You have got the ability to make it happen. That's why you were given that dream. And if you don't sacrifice for what you want will be the sacrifice. So you're going to have to make sacrifices to achieve that goal, whatever it is, whatever your goal is. It's not going to be easy, but you've got to stick with it. Stick with it, stay focused, and work towards bringing it into reality. Make it happen, okay? You can make it happen. And remember, you were created on purpose, with a purpose, for a purpose. Okay, so thank you. And I would just like to tell you a little bit about what I do as well. Like Joan said at the beginning, I have a platform which is called Time to Succeed, and it's primarily for women. And this group is basically, it's for us as women to work together, to empower each other, to coach each other. We have breakouts and breakout sessions where we have breakthroughs, and it's very action orientated, and it's about enabling you to work with like-minded women who want to achieve goals and just need that little bit of support from each other. And that's what that platform is about. We have presentations, we have speakers, and it's very powerful. It's all about coaching you to success, and it's free. And it's it's the last Thursday of every month, and the next one is going to be on the 25th of February. It's in the evenings from 7 to 8:30 p.m. So if you're serious about achieving your goal, you want to work with other like-minded women, if you want to be a part of a platform of positively driven women who seriously want to achieve their goals and aspirations, whatever it is, we coach each other to success. That's what we do. So I share my knowledge. I'm also, as I said, I'm a qualified coach. Like Yvonne, I'm also an NLP practitioner, neuro-linguistic programming, and Myers-Briggs practitioner as well. So I bring all of that and I share all my knowledge and understanding of coaching to help empower us women to achieve our goals. And also I run a more intensive training program where I teach you coaching skills. I teach you NLP, I teach you Myers-Briggs as well, and it's a whole program called Time to Succeed, and it's for women who are interested, and basically it's an accredited training program for us women, and it's a very powerful program. So if you're interested, you can get in touch with me, and yeah, let's bring your dreams into reality. Let's make it happen. Okay, so that's my contact detail. Take note, or you can I'll put it in the chat.
Yes, that's great. If all presenters could do that, please put their contact details in the chat. Can it's come up for a couple of the presenters. So Verna, thank you very much. And Queens, please, come on, set your goals.
Yeah.
Make your dreams and aspirations a reality. You might think that you can't do it, but everything is achievable. Everything is achievable. We can do it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So yes, let's make our dreams a reality. Let's make it happen. Start working towards bringing it into reality. Break it down and take the actions that you need to take. So thank you very much, Joan.
Thank you. Thank you very much for being on the platform. So I'm going to move on to our last presenter, Flavia Mcdonald. Is a professional red coat Toastmaster and a member of the Circle of Toastmasters. And Flavia is also a talented storyteller, known as the Flavorite Storyteller. So Flavia, please, can you tell us about your journey, how you got from where you were to where you are now?
Thank you very much, Queen Joan. Yes, I will do that. I will share my story. I just want to say thank you so much for inviting me to your platform. Your speakers, your presenters have been absolutely powerful. And I'd just like to quickly share that Verna's coaching actually coached me to success, to moving forward in opening up my professional Toastmaster business. So I'd just like to say thank you for that and acknowledge that. Now, Queens in the house, good morning. Woo! Now, my name is Flavia Mcdonald. I am a professional Red Coat Toastmaster and a public speaker and a storyteller. I'd like you to just sit back and relax and just listen for a moment. And I'm going to share my screen, but I'll also share that I am the CEO of the Confident Speaker Within. Now, whilst you relax, I'm going to tell you a story. Once upon a time, a long time ago, there was a young girl. She was aged about 9, and she grew up in a house of horror, a house of trauma, a house where children were seen and not heard. Her voice was in neutral. At the dinner table, every evening she'd sit with her family, her mum and her dad, and her mother would say, quite innocently, "Eat your dinner and don't talk." Now, those innocuous words combined with the childhood trauma set her voice in neutral. She started secondary school and she was excited. And her teachers discovered that she had a talent. She could type fast. So what did they do? They placed her in the business stream as opposed to the academic stream. Her school reports would say, she's doing really well, nice girl, but she's so quiet. She needs to speak up. Her voice was in neutral. Now, it'd come to the end of her secondary school and she's sitting in an office, a cold clinical office with the careers advisor. Her mother is sitting beside her. And the careers advisor says, "Your daughter, pleasant girl, and I think that she would do well as a typist." Now, her mother had been an auxiliary working in a hospital, and she felt that her daughter moving into the corporate world, working in the office, was a step up. But little did she realize the limiting structures that were actually being put in place in her daughter's life. The young girl took the careers advisor's advice and she went out into the world as a typist. And over the years, she progressed and she became a legal secretary and a successful legal secretary. She would sit in meetings, sit in the corner, taking notes, writing minutes, instead of sitting at the boardroom table and speaking out, letting her voice and her opinions be heard. Which gear is your voice in? If you're scared of public speaking, your voice could well be in neutral. It's time to discover the different gears to your voice and discover the confident speaker within. I'm going to share with you, I'm going to run through my slides. Some of them are not appropriate, but I'll just run through quickly. Are you scared of public speaking? If somebody says to you, just speak for a moment, 2 minutes on whatever subject you want, how would you feel inside? Can anybody relate to this image? Just in your chat box, just put, yay, whatever your experience is. If you can relate to this, I want to hear from you. Because I know that is how initially I felt if anybody asked me to speak in public. There is a proper term for this, and it's known as glossophobia. It is the fear of public speaking, and it's a social anxiety disorder. And apparently, over 75% of the population in the UK, let alone the world, suffer with this phobia. People would rather die than speak in public. Why are we scared? Childhood experiences, perhaps being bullied at school, controlling parents, thoughts of low self-esteem. Who wants to hear from me? Who will listen to me? I don't know enough. There could be a various number of reasons as to why you are scared of public speaking. But I want to say to you today that it's time for a change if you are scared of public speaking. I had to go through my changes. Why did I change? Because I wanted to be in a position where I could empower people. And I know that becoming a good speaker, it shows leadership, and it improves your relationships, both on a personal level and a business level. If you're sitting there thinking, well, I don't want to go out onto the big stage to speak, public speaking relates to everybody. As soon as you step out of your house, as soon as you have that conversation with somebody in Sainsbury's, as soon as you have that conversation with somebody at work, you are a public speaker. And we are bringing up our children. We have to grow our children in a way that they are able to listen to our words, and they can react and grow and build from our words in the house, as opposed to being told perhaps really negative words outside of the house, which we know what effect that has. So here I am now. I've gone through several gears of public speaking to be the person that I am now. I am a professional redcoat, and I thoroughly enjoy my role. I created this role 2 years ago. I just couldn't be a legal secretary anymore. I had enough, and I had to reinvent myself. How did I get into this? Well, I joined a public speaking organization and decided to develop my public speaking. And I was really nervous at first. I remember walking into the basement of this church and doing my first speech. And I remember I started it's just an icebreaker, 5-minute speech. You think that's okay and really easy. No, it's not when you have this fear inside of you. My first minute I started to speak. I thought, okay, I got this. And I was rolling. Second minute, I'm still going. I thought, okay, I'm doing well here. Got to my third minute. I started to meditate. It wasn't a good thing. I'd completely forgotten the rest of my speech. I became known as the Queen of the Pause. But it didn't stop me. I kept going because I had the support of like-minded people. And in the end, I became an award-winning speaker within my club. I went on to represent my club. I represented the area, I represented the division. I was even flown out to Ireland to represent the division within a public speaking organization. Little did I know that when I made the decision to invest in myself and find my voice, how much I would change my life. So I've become an award-winning international speaker. I'm a professional redcoat. I am the member of the Circle of Church Toastmasters, which is a prestigious position to hold. And I have 30 years experience in the legal world. So when I combine my historical experience together with this new world that I'm creating for myself, it's an awesome combination. And I'm excited about it because this is something that I've done for myself. I will be holding a webinar, a free webinar, on the 23rd of February. And I'm mindful that we are limited on time today. And I will be going through a webinar where I'll be talking about the different gears of public speaking. I will be looking at, I call them, it's my program, I've called it the gears of public speaking. So I'll be looking at, we've moved from neutral. We know what neutral is. I want women to step out of their neutral gear and go through all of these gears so that they can become the confident speaker and find the confident speaker within themselves. So we'll be looking at appearance. Yvonne mentioned earlier, I think it was Yvonne talked about, no, it wasn't Yvonne, but bear with me. One of our presenters spoke about the importance of appearance. You know, we make a judgment just like that. Do you remember being at school? A teacher would come into the class, and I know I'm not the only one that used to do this. A teacher would come into a class, and instead of listening to what they had to say, you'd be looking them up and down. What is that? What's he got on? What has she got? So we know wearing the right things is important, not to distract from the message that we want to get. I'll be looking at the content of your speech, how to put together a really structured, powerful, inspiring speech, looking at the pace of your speech, looking at projection, voice projection, bear with me, content, pace, projection. Everybody wants to hear what you have to say from the back of the hall. You may not have a microphone, so it's a skill that is important to develop. I'll also be looking at body language. Body language there was open body language and closed body language. If this young lady stood in front of you, would you want to hear what she has to say? How often as speakers, we have unconscious language that we are not aware of. And on my program, I will help you to identify and eliminate. Hey, when she's open like this, Oprah, we want to hear what she has to say. Also, the importance of storytelling. Storytelling has been used throughout the decades to advertising, films, selling your business. It is key. TV adverts. Why is storytelling important? As children, we learn. That's how we learn. And as adults, I still see ourselves as big children. So that storytelling element is still key. Storytelling brings your message to life. Storytelling, it evokes emotions and it helps you to connect with your audience. Now, Maya Angelou, she's my queen. I remember seeing her at Catford Broadway Theatre many, many years ago. And this is in my early days as I was learning to be a speaker. And I remember thinking, I want to be like Maya. I want my voice to resonate, and I want to be able to use my voice even when I'm 80 to inspire other women. And that was one of my very first speeches that I put together in my club. And that speech took me, I won the club contest, and it took me onto the area, and I developed it from there. So Maya Angelou is very much in my heart, and yeah, just absolutely awesome. So I'm inviting you, if you want to do whatever level you are as a public speaker. I mean, I've listened to a lot of the ladies here today. I've listened to, look through the chat, and in the chat, we queens are saying, I want to develop my business. You want to develop your business? Develop your public speaking so that you can pitch your business, so that you can get the clients that you want and really grow. So developing your public speaking is part of developing your business as well. Why? What are the benefits of public speaking? Well, you gain confidence as a speaker. You become an engaging speaker. You improve your employability when you're presenting at interviews, and you are able to promote your own business. And also, we are in the virtual world right now. Zoom is the way forward for most businesses. So you learn how to work the camera and make it work for you. And this is what I'll be helping you to do on my webinar. Well, it's a taster webinar. So come along, have a taste. And obviously I am putting together a package where I'll be covering a lot more. So the Confident Speaker Within, my name is Flavia Mcdonald. I can be contacted at, and I will put the information in the chat, info@flaviamcdonald.com. If you want to take part in my webinar, which will be taking place on the 23rd of February, and it will start at 7 o'clock, email me. There is limited space. Take action today. Do not be left out. I really, really look forward to help, to sharing my knowledge and helping you to grow as speakers, as individuals, as powerful queens. Never underestimate the power of the voice. Yeah, thank you. Over to you, Queen Joan.
Thank you, Flavia. Wow, you're definitely a woman on fire. Oh, amazing. Thank you so much, my darling. And it really is, I know as a child, you're shy, you're quiet, you're being told, children were seen and not heard. And that's really sort of like followed quite a lot of people into their adulthood, which is unfortunate. But there are, what I really want is the queens on the platform to tap into all of you as speakers, coaches, motivational speakers, because it doesn't have to be like this. Even at, whatever age you are, you can make that change. So thank you very much, my darling. If you could stop sharing your screen, that would be fabulous. So guests on the platform, there's an opportunity to start putting your questions into the chat. If you have any particular questions to ask, you put your hand up and I will come to you. I'm going to go across to my wonderful co-host, Nadia. And I'm going to check in. Nadia, have you picked up any particular salient themes in the chat? Or
Hey.
Hey.
Hello, everyone. Morning.
Can we see you, Queen?
Huh?
I know you're there.
Yes, I'm there.
Can we see you?
Okay. Lots and lots of responses to all of the panelists. So in terms of agreeing, but actual questions, I've got one here where, what's the difference between goals and dreams? Who would like to answer that? What's the difference between goals and dreams?
Is that one for you, Yvonne or Werner? Or Loraine, with one of my guest speakers, pick that up? Or are they having trouble unmuting?
I don't mind answering. Okay. Yeah, can I speak? Yeah, am I all right to do so? Cool. Yeah, so the difference, I think the difference between a goal and a dream is a collage of images, of thoughts, of emotions that there is no real action behind it. It's just a thought. It's, I want to do something. It's like a want. Whereas a goal has, it has structure behind it. It has things that you need to do. It has outcomes. It's outcome based. So if you have a dream, you start with the dream and then you add the goal to the dream. And from you add in the goal, it then has an outcome. But I think from a point of view from a dream, it's just a dream. And it's something that may never happen. It's just there in the atmosphere. It's just a thought. Whereas a goal is more specific. There's an outcome to it for you to actually achieve that thing. So I think that that's the difference between the two. It's just a journey that needs to happen in order for the outcome to take place.
Absolutely. And can I just second that, Yvonne? Thank you. I was going to say, yes, a dream, it's just like a wish. It's not tangible. You can dream, you can have a dream, but it's not, it's a dream. A dream isn't real. So if you have a goal, like Yvonne said, it's about taking action, working towards making that dream become a reality by bringing it into reality, taking action, making it actually happen. So we can all wish, but if you don't take action, then you could 5 years, 10 years, 20 years from now, you could be still wishing. So a goal is about having a structure, having a plan, making it happen, bringing it into reality.
Thank you. Thank you very much for that, Werner and Yvonne. Lovely. Next question, Nadia, darling.
Sorry about that. A direct question to Loraine. What would you say is your superpower that has made you so effective as a diversity leader?
Queen Loraine.
Yeah.
A superpower. That is a fantastic question.
Yeah.
I think it's my capacity and to be myself. I think that I try to be as transparent and consistent in my behaviors and in what I say as I possibly can. And by being authentic, particularly in an environment which is predominantly male, predominantly white, being myself is the thing, is my power, because nobody else can be me. Does that make sense? That's a fantastic question, but yeah, I think the power of me and all of that I bring is what I lay bare in the organization, and hopefully that's what's made me successful, she said.
Oh, wonderful.
Excellent. What I found, there was a theme where a lot of people in achieving their goals, they're totally exhausted. So what anybody recommend, you know, a better way not to end up exhausted after achieving the goals? Maybe pacing. I think that would be a good idea if there's some feedback on that.
Who would like to pick that question up?
Well, I think in terms of exhaustion, I think there needs to be some self-care strategies put in place. If you are running, especially if you're running your own business, and especially in this lockdown period where we're at home, that we want to just do. We've got to do this, and we're always on the go. But I think there has to be. I think one of the speakers was talking about pausing. That she paused, but it was in a different way. But there is power in the pause as well. Absolute, you know. Arnold, you know, it's just so powerful to be able to pause and say, right, I'm actually going to take this time for me. And again, it goes right back to the connecting with self. So I think that to check on your focus, one, incorporate some self-care strategies in there, do things for yourself where it isn't just about your work. Put other things into place, but it is really tricky, especially now as we are in lockdown. A lot of my clients have said the same thing, because you know there's nothing else to do, so I might as well do this, or I might as well do that. So self-care, self-preservation, actually connecting with yourself, because if you're overworking, then you're not giving yourself the time that you deserve.
Right, thank you for that.
It's just one thing from me. I do believe in goals. So I do think it's a good thing to do. I've always worked on that, and, you know, did I achieve them? So I really do, and I have it stuck up all over my house. So I know that this is what I want to achieve, and I do think it works. I've always done it, and it's worked for me over the years, and my goals have changed. I've achieved, and then I've created new goals. I've achieved, then I create new goals. So I think that that is one of the things that everyone should be doing. It really gives you a vision, a mission, and that's my contribution to that. So today, all the panelists, thank you, because it just made me feel that you've been on the right track. Continue. Okay, thank you very much.
Oh, well, that's fantastic. Thank you so much, Nadia. So this is the point where I normally open up the platform. So if guests, you can put your hand up in the chat and I'll come to you, say where you are. Please have your camera on so we're not talking to a black screen, and you can ask a question. If not, I'm going to wind up.
Oh, sorry, there is some more questions that's come in.
Oh, okay.
One's directed at Yvonne. Where did you find the strength to overcome what happened to you in your childhood?
We need to unmute you, Yvonne. Ask to unmute. Can we? Rudy, can we unmute Yvonne, please?
Mute yourself, Yvonne.
Yeah, got it. Okay, so the strength, it came from different places at different times. I would say fundamentally, what gave me the strength was my children. And that's the bottom line. That's the first thing. But also, I became a safeguarding officer many, many years ago. And I was convicted in the position of where I was as a safeguarding person to the clients that were coming in, and I'm giving them all these resources, all this information. And it kind of just, it was like I looked in the mirror and I just said, you know what, something's got to shift. If I want things to change, then I have to be the change that I want to see. And so that's what pushed me forward to overcoming and doing all these different exercises. And really, one of the things, as I said, connecting with self, I would say the most important thing for me out of all of those things was actually looking at myself and realizing that there was a disconnect and saying, right, my life has to change. It cannot be like this. This is where I want to be. And again, it comes down to goal. I had a picture of how I wanted my life to be. And when I looked at myself, I couldn't see that. And so it took a lot. And, you know, I didn't get to finish the story. I actually took the person who abused me to court and I lost the case. I lost it. But you know what? In losing it, it was one of the most significant things for me, because it literally then took me out of this, oh, woe is me, to, hold on a minute, you are not going to silence me anymore. And so I wrote a part of the book and I started to find my voice, and now I speak on it. I speak on many different things. And that for me is the driving force now, because there are so many women out there who have gone through this and it's messed up with them and messed up their mental health. They can't move forward, they can't progress. And so I'm like, I'm not having it anymore. I'm a fighter. I believe I am full of power. That's how I see it. And so I'm taking this power and I'm going to the nations and I'm speaking my truth. There is power in your voice. And I realize that speaking it out has been the most powerful thing for me and has changed my complete life. No longer am I ashamed or afraid to talk my truth. May I talk it? Will I like it?
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
So that's
definitely wonderful.
You know, that's where it's at.
There's a direct question to Flavia. What are the activities that we engage in to find our personal voice, the particular character of our voice?
Thank you for that question. Now, the activities that you take part in to find your voice make you look very strange, because they involve you sticking your tongue out your mouth, blowing out your cheeks so that you look really puffed out, so you look as if you've got a toothache, look as if you're chewing a wasp, because you're exercising your tongue, you're getting your jaws to work, and you're actually exercising the facial muscles. All of these activities, I'm not going to show you right now because I'm keeping my pretty face on for now. But all of these exercises really help to strengthen your voice, deepen your voice. Also, the way that you breathe. Right now, can you hear the way that I'm talking? Does my voice sound a bit strained? That was because I was speaking from here, as opposed to speaking from my diaphragm. Can you hear the difference? Okay, so these are the techniques that can help you to really give your voice what I call gravitas. Yes.
Okay, I'll open this up to anybody to answer, but someone here is having some really challenging, challenging time in the corporate environment. So, you know, that negative, challenging time in the corporate environment. What do you think you can give them as, you know, a specific mantra to tackle this? I don't, Loraine, maybe?
No, could they share just a little bit more what?
Okay, so they're saying
Sorry.
that they're trying to, obviously their authentic self is being challenged negatively in a corporate environment. So, you know, their authentic self is being challenged negatively in a corporate environment. Do you have a, you know, specific mantra that they could use to tackle this? Does that make more sense?
Yeah, that's really helpful. I mean, I think part of the coping strategy is to find some allies within the organization. So it may not be the direct line manager, but finding someone who can at least be an ear that you can share to kind of help support you in your your challenge to remain your authentic self. I think the other thing is about trying to work out where the levers of power are and the way that you can maybe circumnavigate those individuals. But it kind of, I'd need a little bit more information to understand exactly what some of those challenges are. But, trying to understand where you can link in with others to provide you some support and reinforcement is a way of steeling yourself against the kind of negative challenges that you have. And be confident in yourself. So, we all get foisted on lots of kind of negativity, but I think be confident in yourself, in your skills, in your capacity. And that's the thing that helps you kind of steel yourself against some of those challenges.
Wonderful.
I mean,
Right.
there was a similar question like that in a.
We'll take one more question, Nadia. Oh, you've been muted. Yeah, because we're about to wrap up. So, right, does anybody want to ask a question? If not, I'm going to ask each of the presenters as we wind down now, what sort of like takeaway gem can we share with our guests on the platform? So who would like, I know Cheryl had to run off. So if I can go to Loraine, if you had a gem, a parting gem for the ladies on the platform, there might be some kings. I think it's
just bear with me. Hold on a minute. Can you come back to me? Because I'd written it down. I just want to make sure I say the right thing.
Okay. Let me move on to Yvonne. Have you got a parting gem for the ladies on the platform?
My parting gem would be to remember that there is a protocol for queens. A queen is regal. A queen knows who she is. A queen stands firm. She's assured. So when you're calling yourself a queen, know what you're calling yourself. Be honest, be authentic, be real, be bold, be brilliant in who you are as a queen. And remember that you set your own standard. Nobody can set that for you. So if you're feeling like less of a queen, it's on no one else but you. You take responsibility, as I said, but you are a queen, so be the queen, know who you are, and just let everybody see in your authentic self the queen that you are.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, my darling. Loraine, are you ready?
Yeah, I am, and it was in my slide, and I think I got to show it, but I'm not sure that I did. It was about not being afraid to stand out, which was a picture of a load of black umbrellas and a yellow umbrella.
Yes.
Yeah, that was my takeaway. I think I absolutely endorse everything that Yvonne and Nadia and Flavia have said, but that thing about not being afraid to be your authentic self is, to me, a really, really crucial aspect of our survival. And I think if you frame it in the way that Yvonne talks about, when you wear that mantle of a queen, wear it with pride and with vigor, and it will carry you far.
Thank you very much for that. And I'm always telling my queens, it's about loving yourself, being your authentic self. I keep telling them, and individuals have to believe in themselves, and it does start with self-belief. So Verna, what is your parting gem for the guests on the platform this morning?
I would say stay focused on your goals. Stay focused on your goals. I know it's could be quite difficult, but break it down into manageable chunks, okay? And just remember that you were born on purpose, with a purpose, for a purpose, okay? So whatever your goals are, whatever your aspirations are, start working towards bringing it into reality and making it happen. Don't take your dreams to the grave with you, where you are given it for a reason. So make it happen, bring it into reality, okay?
Thank you very much for that, Verna. Bring it into reality, queens. Flavia, my darling, what parting gem do you have for the guests on the platform this morning?
I'm going to be short and sweet and say, discover the confident speaker within yourself. We are all born as leaders, and as leaders, we are speakers, and that gives us the how can I put it? That gives us the right to inspire the younger generation, and also to support our older generation so that we can speak to them and comfort them when necessary. That's our role. Inspire. You have the right to use that voice. You deserve to be heard. You're not that person sitting in the corner. No, step up. Let's hear you.
Oh,
Yeah.
fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. So, you know, all of you, you've hit it right on the head. You know, we're here for a purpose. And it really is about, you know, letting our voices be heard. It's about believing in ourselves. You know, we are strong, resilient. You know, I wear my crown as a queen with honor. Yeah. And we can call ourselves queens. It's not about being born into a particular, you know, establishment. You know, all of us as women, we should be thinking of ourselves to be regal, to be royal, to be queens. So, you know, come on, queens, it's time for that change. Time to, you know, be resilient, be strong, and plan and put things in place to manifest your dreams and aspirations. Make it real, make it happen. So on that note, I want to thank all my fantastic presenters. You have been absolutely amazing. And I'm sure you've all taken loads of notes. And, you know, it's onwards and upwards. Okay, we're in a pandemic, but you can still put things in place to manifest your dreams into reality. Yes, you can buy that house. Yes, you can get that new job. Whatever you want to do, you can do it. You know, I tell my children and even my grandchildren now, you can be anything you want to be. You can achieve anything you want to achieve. So Queens, let's just make it a reality. I really want to get some testimonials come back to me, you know, stating, you know, we did this, I've done that, you know, this has happened. You know, every day you wake up, you have it as a mantra, you know, I am going to do this. This will happen in my life. Yeah, make it real. It doesn't matter how you might think it sounds ridiculous. Nothing's ridiculous. Nothing's silly. Nothing's off the wall. Yeah. If you want that house, it will happen. If you want that car, it will happen. If you want that man, it will happen. Whatever you want. Yeah. Just make it a reality. So on that note, I want to thank everybody for being on the platform. And as I did in the beginning, I'll just remind you to hear about future Queen's Walking Group events. Please follow us on Eventbrite. This event has been recorded and will be uploaded onto our YouTube channel. So I just need to bid you all farewell. Have a fantastic day and thank you for being on the Queen's platform. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye. Have a fantastic time. Do something nice before the bad weather kicks in. I'll just stop recording.